Is it visible?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Okay, let us first talk about dynamic memory allocation, and then we'll go to the these things. What is called the other topic. Anyway, let me show you the different sections. I mean, in a memory that when you run any program, okay. So there are some space which is required to run the codes that you are executable codes that you have already compiled, okay. And then some space is required for the different variables, whatever it is there, and then there are some data stacks which is required that what is called where you are basically going to store the different data. Okay. Now the factor is that whenever you require any space, it's actually always take up from a pool of free space. Okay, the pool of free space. So from there, it will take the space of the requisite amount of data that the variable size that you really need, and then it actually allocate you in your program. Now the fact here is that whatever we are doing, these are all static. Means whether you are declaring int a, int b, or int a5 or int a100, they are all basically static. Static in the sense before program runs, you will get all the memory. Ready for your program. So that's why we call it as static allocations. Because it's happening before running that program. So now the factor is that there is a lot of issues which are there, like the mismanagement of the space, because you don't know how much space truly it's required. Suppose you are creating a memory space of 100 size or 1000 size, and then you are selling that product to somebody else, and you don't know that that 1000 size is sufficient for their work or not. Okay. So similarly, if you give a very high size like 10,000, let us give it it may require. So with that expectation, you space to the these things what is called to the user or to the program, then possibly you will going to waste that space. So that's why it's very difficult sometimes to do a proper judgment of how much is the optimized utilization of that memory space. So that is what it is the problem in static allocations. Okay. So it is sometimes it's difficult. So like the one of the big example of this is like the issue related to that space, not directly static or dynamic. Have you ever heard about the problem called Y2K problem? Have you heard about the problem called Y2K problem? How many of you know heard about that Y2K problem? You heard about that?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir.
Y2K problem is a very famous problem actually that happened. Why? Because most of the US software, banking software and others, they initially uh, used two-digit space for storing the year in a date. Okay, year in a date in the sense like the last two DDMMYY. You know that format DDMMYY. So YY is the two digits number they are storing. So up to 2019, it was fine, no problem. Sorry, 1919, so it's okay. But after that, the when sorry, what is that? 1999. So after that, naturally, what happened? So 1999 means the last digit will going to be 99. So two digit is sufficient. After that, naturally comes the 2000. So 2000 means 00. So how are we going to calculate? Because let us assume you are calculating the date difference. So date difference, if you do it naturally, the 00 will going to give it the actual solutions. So you are subtracting something from zero. So that's why all the software start malfunctioning because of this low space. Because people never thought of it, a software can up to that level. So that's why it's a, I mean, nightmare for the entire software development community and the banking software, where so many softwares are running with that format, and because it's a bank, so next day immediately after that 12 o'clock of 1999, all will start. I mean. Malfunctioning or giving erroneous yeah, software. So that is actually become a very big issue that they faced at that moment. Then what they did it very quickly, they start recruiting so many people, especially from the India, and they being transferred over there in US or somewhere, or in some companies in India also, where they are having service, they are providing services and all. And then they start recruited and then start doing day and night to make converting that 2 digit to the 4 digit, so that before reaching to that 12 o'clock of 1999, that can be resolved. And after all, they have resolved. That's why that problem is called Y2K, means year 2000, year 2000. So that problem itself is called year Y2K. But later on, the ground, the ultimate, what happened actually, since they have recruited just because of to solve some emergency issues, and then so many people have been sacked from the different companies from there, because they don't require additional manpower. Anyway, that's a different story, not directly related to the dynamic memory allocation, but yes, memory allocation is very, very important. Very, very important. And it's very difficult sometimes to assess or measure how much memory is going to require while running a particular program. So that's why we sometimes come out with some solutions where we are using so much space meaninglessly, but actually there is no use. Or sometimes we are taking a space which is not going to be sufficient in the near future. So dynamic memory allocation is something like that, where instead of, because here we have a memory is not an issue, but for a particular program to run, the size of the data, how many space you need it, you cannot guess it at the very beginning. It can be either maximum, it can be either very high, or it can be very low. So what is the solution is that what we call it as a dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation is what? Basically, it's on demand in the sense on run. It depends on the user. Okay, how many space do you need? You'll ask from the user, and then it will go to the memory space and then allocate some memory for you, instead of deciding at the very beginning. It should be on demand, as and when user want. Now for the timing, I want, I need 50 space. It's fine. Some after running that program may be used by somebody else, and then somebody, they can say, I need a 5,000. So the same program will go to run. You don't have to go back to the code and then changes over there. So you, because normally we don't allow any code to be accessible to the user. Nowadays, the people are making some of the code open access, but normally we give it to someone executables. Okay, like the PowerPoint that I'm using, they're executable files. Okay, you cannot go back to the code, how they have done. So most of the cases it happens. So dynamic memory allocation is basically helpful in such case, which basically allow some variables during runtime. So it not necessarily this, it can be any variable that you can create using dynamic memory allocations. It's not necessarily that array, but most of the cases we use for our programming purpose, we use array as dynamic memory allocation. So now the important factor is that while doing dynamic memory allocations, you have to have the access of that memory location. Otherwise, you cannot able to use that particular allocated space. So there is a great use of pointer while using dynamic memory allocation. So without the help of pointer, it's difficult to use dynamic memory allocations or dynamic memory. Okay, so so the free pool from where data, the memory has to be assigned based on the user requirement, we normally call it as a data heap. Okay, that is called heap. So heap is basically means the free pool from where, yes, of course, it's something like that. If for any program which is running, it's having a specified amount of memory that can be given to that, whether they are using it or not. But it's not like that the two programs are running, because you know that in our computer multiple programs are running at the same time. So there should not be some clash between two different programs, because one programming is using a particular memory space and another program is also trying to access that space. Then there will be a clash. Then what will happen? Your computer will not going to work. So whenever you run a program, what operating system do, they allocate certain amount of space in ahead, whether you use it or not, if they give it to that, so that if you need some space, you can take it from your allocated spots, what we call it as a heap. But the boundary cannot be touched by some other program, okay, to just to avoid the clash between two different programs, because our is multi-programming, multitasking operating system that we are running right now. Okay, so you'll come to know all those things when you will study operating system. I think you may have studied also, or otherwise you're going to learn everything in the paper called operating system. Okay, now let's go to our own business. So there are few functions which are available for managing the memory. Okay, so the most two popular functions are alloc and malloc. Okay, there are difference, a minor difference which are there in alloc and malloc, and then there are other two functions which are there. Other two. Just a minute. Let me show you the board. Achha. Now other function is there, that is called realloc. Realloc means, let us assume you have using dynamic memory allocation function calloc or malloc at any moment of time, and then after that, even after using that also, you may require more space to be allocated. So in that case, what will happen? You can use another function that is called realloc, means reallocation. Okay, reallocation, reallocation, that you can function use it, and then after using your memory, what you can do, you can free them, means you can destroy that space. Destroy that space means actually memory is not going to be destroyed, but you are making them free, means now that the space, let us assume we have declared a array of size 5000. Now after using that thing, you know that after that point in your program, there is no use of that space. So why to unnecessarily keep hold on to that particular space? What you can do, you can give it back to the free pool, that is called data heap. Okay, so what you can do, you can make it, you can just cut that link and then ask the operating system to take back that space, so that later on any other program or even my program itself can utilize that space. Okay, instead of occupying or keep hold in my own program. So that is always a good practice. Like whenever you use dynamic memory allocation, you always try to make it free. Okay, at the end of the program or wherever you feel that there is no use of that. That is a good practice, people used to call it, that whenever you use dynamic memory allocation, because whatever, if you are doing static memory allocation, then what happened actually, it's the responsibility of the compiler that's to make it free. Okay, so that they are very good, they have well written. That's why whenever they create any memory, it is their responsibility. They normally do it implicitly to make it free. But if you are doing, then there is there is no control of the compiler. So in that case, what will happen? It is your responsibility, make free. So I don't know. I mean, how many of you have programmed in C++? How many of you have done C++? Any C++? Anyone? Yeah. No one?
Yes.
Okay, Subhas. And anyone?
Yes, हम लोग ने भी किया है.
Okay, fine. So there is two functions, which is special functions, which is there. Can you tell me which is executed automatically while creating an object? Right. So constructor and destructors are some of the special functions in C++, or not even C++, in any object-oriented programming, where whenever a object going to be created, automatically that function will going to be created, that constructor function. And then there is one more function, what is called the destructor function. What actually it's do is basically the responsibility, other than doing some end task. If you really want to make it do, what you can do before, at the end of that use of that particular object, it calls the function called destructor, and the destructor actually clear up all the memories occupied initially by that particular object. So that is the responsibility of the destructor function, to clear up the memory. So you can do explicitly, you can do implicitly. So if you are not using any constructor and destructor, by default inside, automatically any I mean, the compiler will going to call a default constructor and default destructor. So the my intention is to mention here is that if you are declaring something in static way, some variable in during program writing, it's the responsibility of the compiler to clear up the memory. And if you are doing of your own, so naturally the responsibility lies on you to clear up that memory. So that's why it is always a good practice to use the function called free to clear up the memory space that you have allocated. Okay. Now there are some minor difference between calloc and malloc. Okay, there are minor difference between calloc and malloc. So the fact is that this is also allocate basically array of memory. Okay, array of memory. So there may be consecutive array of memory, and the malloc is what it is doing. It's basically occupying a single block of memory. Okay, single block of memory. That means all the spaces are basically consecutive. Okay, single block of memory. And but here it is like that. That it's basically an array of memory. Means chunk. They're chaining and then creating that thing. Okay. Now just see the prototype of calloc function. Though this is a bit old, mostly people use malloc. But anyway, you should know these things. What actually it's doing? It's taking. It's first of all, it's returning a void pointer. Okay, void pointer. What is that? I'll come into that void pointer. Okay, and then it takes two parameters. One is called that whatever name you can give it. One is for the is a special type of used to indicate the size. Okay, that is basically the how many such arrays you want. Okay, and the second one is what? So this is basically what is called num is the number of elements to be allocated in the array and so I think something missing over here. Anyway, so size is the size of the element to be allocated. Okay, so how many space I mean, each size should be how many what is called size of that space. Okay, that you need 100 100 size of this thing space, and then how for each location how many space is there. So it can be anywhere. Okay, so it can be anywhere. It's not necessarily that it will going to be a consecutive one. Okay, so it require the number of elements and the size of each of the element. Okay, there are two one. And what is void pointer? This is the return type. You know that void pointer means it's a pointer. If you can remember, it's a pointer which can take a shape of any data type pointer. Okay, it can take any data type pointer. That's why to make a return type general, the function also always return a void pointer. Means the array may be an integer array, the array may be a float array, the array may be character array, the array may be array of pointers, the array may be array of structure. So it can be anything. So since we don't know what it will going to be, so best idea is to declare something called void pointer, so that whatever be the destination, whatever be the type of that space, the variable that you would like to store it will going to take automatically that particular shape. So because you are basically returning a address, nothing else, no values, only the address. Okay. So just see here the use of calloc. Calloc, you see here what it is happening. You ask from the user how many space that you need it. Okay, and then you call the function called calloc with two parameters. One first is the how many such values that you need. Okay, how many space that you need, that is n. Okay, and then what is the size of that particular variable. Okay, what is the size of the particular variable. Okay, so that means I need 10 variable space, and each variable space is 4 byte. Okay, so that way it will going to allocate different memory space. And what it is returning basically is returning, since normally what I have said that it basically returns a void pointer. Okay, void pointer. So if it is returning, definitely it's a function call. So it's returning void pointer. So what I'm doing here, you see here the type of the num, the variable num, is basically what? It's basically a float pointer. Okay, float pointer. So now what happens? Here I'm doing something. What is that? Here I'm doing something. What is that? What is this? This is called what?
Typecasting.
Typecasting, right? So this is basically called typecasting. Why typecasting? Because the calloc basically returns void pointer, and then I have to convert it into destination type. What is the destination type? Destination type is float star. Okay. Now naturally, I need a typecasting so that the void pointer can be converted into flow star. If you can remember, in one of the classes we have discussed about that. Otherwise, it will going to give a warning and all. So that's why you need to give a what is called typecasting. You have to do it so that the whatever it is there in the other side of the assignment operator or equal to it, the typecasting should be of that particular type. So it's very easy. Sorry, it's very easy because my destination type is float star. So my typecasting also should be float star. So in that way you have to remember. Rest you can use it like a normal array. Okay. Now, as I've said, releasing that array. How are you going to releasing that memory space? Releasing means you have to declare a variable. You have to call the function free, and then you have to pass that pointer. Okay, pointer means you see here. If I want to make the space occupied by or marked by or what I should say, that it's get hold of that by the variable nums, because num is basically holding what, the starting address of the particular array nums. Now if you would like to delete the entire array created by alloc, then what you have to do it, you have to call the function free, and then you have to pass that particular pointer num. Okay, so here the variable is num, nums. So then you have to pass the value while calling, you have to pass num. So it will, what it will do, it will clear, and now it will go back to the free pool. Okay. Then this is the use of that. So it's very easy. Simply you just call the function num, free nums, because num is your variable that you have declared, and you have created memory space by using that calloc, and num is actually holding the base address or starting address of that array, and then you just use that variable, then it will going to make it free if you can do that thing. Okay. Okay. Now naturally the importance is that normally most of the cases memory leakages happen. What is memory leakage and all? Possibly you will either you know, or possibly you have done what is called you are going to study these things. But let me tell you very quickly, like memory leakages means because of which actually what happens, sometimes your machine was very slow, and then sometimes you do the fragmentation. Okay, fragmentation of the memory means because of the if you don't make it free, then the space remain unused. Okay, space remain unused, it's never go back to the pool. So then what will happen, such kind of pockets are actually basically happens inside the memory, and then if you don't give it back to that, then what happens, there may be some memory space even after you do that thing, even if you go back to send it back to the your memory space, the free pool. Then what happens if you don't do fragmentation? Then what happens? There may be some space segmented way, but there may not be. If you club it all together, then you can have a very big space, and you can allocate to some any other program that is running your computer. But they are not in a all together. So that's why what happens, your machine becomes slower. Okay, they cannot get enough memory. The enough memory is there, but because of their segmented of spreaded across different places in the memory, they are not in the all together. Then naturally your program cannot loaded. Big programs cannot be loaded in your machine, and its performance also goes down. So that's why sometimes you should have to do fragmentation. So fragmentation, what it is doing basically, they shift whatever is free, and they shift all the memory space, whatever it is there, so that they can have a big chunk of free space all together, so that big programs can run over there. So that you will come to know later on all those things. Anyway, so now let's move to the another important function that is called malloc. So malloc is also like calloc, but only thing is that here it takes only one parameter. Okay, it takes only one parameter. What is this? Is in terms of number of bytes. That's all. Finish. Okay, it's basically takes that number of bytes and allocate that much of space for your program. But calloc, you have observed, that it have one is the number of elements and for each size of each of the elements. Okay, but here it's like what, a single block of elements, so it only need the how many bytes you require, whether it's for the array, whether it's for a single variable, it doesn't matter. So it will go into calloc also do like that, but because if you declare only one space and one type of the data, it means dynamically you are actually creating a space for a particular single variable, not array. So that also you can do. But difference is that it's basically taking only one, and it's always try to get a single block of these things, not the array. In array, what happened? That it may have a set of these things, and then it can go to the something else. It's somewhat like your linked list that it works. Okay, so what happens actually? It's basically again the same thing. It's also returned void pointer, that is it's basically returns the address of the starting location of that block. Okay, and if there is no memory space, if the allocation is not successful, then what happens actually? It returns null. Okay, so looking into null, you can easily judge whether your memory allocation is perfect, happen or not. Okay, so how now you do that thing? So to get, for let us assume you want a float array of size n. Okay, then what you have to do? You see here, the calculation is going to remain same. Like instead of, even we are not giving two different parameters, but we are giving the number of bytes. So how are you going to calculate? N into size of float. That means that much space. So let us assume 10 space you required of float. Float is each is 4. So what happened? 4 into 10. 4 into 10. So that is 40. So 40 byte, it will occupy space, give you the space of 40 byte. Calloc, here what you have to do? You can give it two different things. One is n, another is size of float. So, but both of the functions you can use it. Okay, both of the functions you can use it. You can use it for your program. Anyway, now let me show you the relog. So what is that relog function is that whenever you have a, yes. See, the malloc and calloc is a bit old functions. What actually happens? It occupies different memory space of size whatever you are given. There are two parameters that you have to pass it. Okay, there are two parameters that you have to pass it in calloc. However, in malloc, it actually occupies a single block of memory. Okay, single block of memory of whatever bytes you are going to specify. Okay, so that's the basic difference. So what happens? So basically, until unless you get a single block of memory, malloc cannot be successful. However, calloc will going to be successful, because calloc doesn't require a single block. It may be a series of blocks. Wherever it can get it, it can get a single set of blocks. It will occupy of your size n. Okay, but malloc, what it is doing, it's trying to get a single block. So if you are asking for 1000 byte space, and if there is no single block of space, there may be some other places that free space are there, but single space where 1000 byte space is cannot be allocated, then your malloc will not going to be successful. Okay, and then in that case it returns null. Okay. Otherwise, calloc and malloc are same. Calloc, other than the number of parameters and all, it's going to be the same thing. And relog, what is that relog? Relog is basically that after using also, if you read more space, then it will all about. You see here, there are two parameters in case of relog. First is the pointer. What that pointer? That this is the pointer which you have hold some array or some other variable. Okay, because that array, that space you would like to extend. Let us assume you have declared an array called nums. Okay, now you'd like to extend that memory space. Then definitely that num you have to pass it over here, because how otherwise the function will know which memory space or which allocated space you'd like to extend. So that's why that address, for the starting address, you have to give it, and how much size you'd like to extend, that you have to give it as the second parameter. And then from the free space it will come and it will going to attach with particular that whatever you have declared over there. Okay, so that way you can extend whatever memory space that you have, you can extend that memory space from there. So of course, if there is no space, it will not going to occupy. I mean, it will not going to, the reloc will not going to be successful. Okay. So this is the functions that it happens. That is the calloc. Of course, you have to use calloc only. So you have to declare calloc, and then you see here the first array that you have created using alloc. The nums, it's holding the base address, and then later on you would like to extend that space, that memory num. So what will happen? You are using nums, and then you are passing the base address where the old array is actually it's holding the base address, and then how much space that you would like to extend. So that space is, let us assume, another 10 variables you'd like to store, float type. So 10 into size of float, so that much space you are doing that thing. So your relocation will going to add another additional 40 space, and then add it up with your at the end of the num whatever you have created. Okay, so then that means your memory you can be extended later on. So now, as I have said, I'll show you some program after completing that thing. Now, as I have discussed, like array of pointers. Okay, array of pointers, as I have said once, you can store any address of any other pointer. Now, for what is called, we have seen the how to declare 1D array using dynamic memory relocation. Now the same thing, what you can do, you can use dynamic memory relocation to create a matrix 2D array. So how it is going to happen? The first array should be an array of pointers, and each of the space you are going to store the base address of some other array. Okay, so that way basically you are making a two-dimensional matrix. Okay, do you understand that thing? Is it clear? Is it clear?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so A is an array of pointers. Okay, to declare, let me show you some example if it is there or not. Let me see. So how are we going to do that? For creating an array, 2D array using dynamic memory relocations, what you have to do, you have to declare a 2D pointer. Okay, array of double pointer. Okay, pointer. Then what will happen? You have to first declare an array of pointers. Okay, what is that array of pointers? You see here, array of pointers. I am declaring a array 5 of size 5. Okay, and for size 5. And then I'm not creating any array for storing any particular type of value like integer, float, and all. I am creating an array of pointers. I'm creating an array of pointers which can hold address of 5 different float variables. Okay, I think that means not float variables, the float. Okay, address of these things. What is called another float type of variable. Okay. You have to revisit your whatever I have discussed about double pointer on, otherwise it will not going to be very effective. So anyway, let me show you with some diagram. Where I have declared a diagram. I don't know. So let us take this example. Okay, let us take this example, because it's very difficult to write again and again different things. You see here, forget about other things. I'm deleting these things. Anything I'm deleting. Now I need a matrix. Matrix in the sense, let us assume matrix. Let us assume I want matrix of size 5, 5. 5, 5 means, what do you mean by 5, 5?
Row 5, column 5.
हाँ बोलो बोलो
Square matrix.
5 5 means
Matrix with 5 columns and 5 rows, sir.
5 column and 5 row, right? So now how I'm going to do it using dynamic memory location. So for that, what I need array of pointers. So for declaring an array of pointers, the two things that you can do. Either you can declare like that. This is array of pointers, okay, where I'm going to store 5 pointers, okay, 5 pointers, and then if you really want to store, I mean, what is called array of pointers, the other alternative is because here what happened? Here I know priorly that I am going to store 5 pointers. So in that case, it is fine. But if you even that also you don't know how many pointers or address that you are going to store it, then better make it also as dynamic. Okay. So what happens? What you can do for that, you need to take the help of double pointer. So that means pointer of pointer. So in that case, what happens? What we actually did it. Here this line, okay, let us assume this is let us assume integer, okay, I'm doing it integer. So what I'll do, I'll use that particular function call. So when I am doing the function call, let us assume this is integer, okay, this is integer, okay. So what happens here, this is actually in our case 6. Okay. What actually happens if you do like that, then it create a memory space of size 6, and what it is there in each size of float pointer. So what is the size of the float pointer? What is the size of float pointer? What is the size of integer pointer? What is the size of character pointer? Hello? 8 bytes? What is integer pointer size? Size of integer pointer?
So 8 bytes.
Huh? Hello?
8 bytes, sir.
And character pointer? Character pointer? प्रोग्राम मत चलाओ, तुम डायरेक्टली बोलो। कैरेक्टर पॉइंटर का साइज अब कितना है?
8 bytes.
Why 8 byte? Why 8 byte? Why 8 byte? Why 8 byte? वो लोग क्लास फॉलो नहीं करते।
पॉइंटर का साइज सब एक ही
हाँ? Yes, what happened? बोलो।
सर पॉइंटर का सभी का साइज एक ही है सर।
So basically, why it is same? Why it is same? Data types are different, but why it is same? Why it is same? Because it's holding the memory address irrespective of type of the data, so it needs that much of space which is enough to hold any address. So that's why the size of any pointer, whatever be the type of the pointer, it's always going to occupy the same memory space. So anyway, so whenever I am using that calculator, you can use even malloc also, no problem. So whenever you use this thing, so in case of malloc, what will happen if I write it? So I'm writing like this, and then what you have to do? You have to do like this. Okay. 6, you can use any variable n. Okay, so you can do any variable. You ask from the user how many, what is n, how much is the n, then accordingly it will calculate. So anyway, so I'm showing it using malloc. So the fact is that whenever you declare this thing, so it will going to occupy. So in my case, our case, this is 6. So it will going to take float pointer size 6 variable space, okay, and then allocate, and then what it is doing is, since it is returning void pointer, but I have to convert it into what type? The destination type. What is the destination? Destination is star star x, integer star star. So integer star star should be over here, okay, and then x. Now what it is holding? What will be there in the x? What will be there in the x? The base address of what? Just tell in a figure so that other can understand. 2340, right? So 2340. So that means it will going to create an array. Okay, it's created. I'm just removing the other address so that to avoid confusion. It will create an array, and x will going to hold the address of the base address of that array. So naturally, what will happen? So now what will happen? X these things. X will is pointing to the base address of that array. So now it's holding the base address. Now this array is not a special. It's not a normal array. You cannot store any normal values over there. Why? Because this is array of pointers or array of pointers. This is now going to be array of pointers because this is you are creating, because you are creating by using star star x. So that means pointer of pointer. So that means it can now hold the address of some other pointer. So that's why you cannot store any like 5, 6, 7 like that. Now it means I need some array. I don't know whether I can rotate it or not. Can I rotate? I don't think so. I can rotate that table. Very difficult. Draw भी नहीं कर पाता हूँ. So let us assume I am creating space. I need this. I'm going to create one array, okay, and I'm going to hold the base address of that particular array, okay, base address of that particular array, and then I'll store the base address of that array into the above array. So let us assume these things. Base address of this array, let us assume, is 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 5, 5, 5. So big number I'm giving. So this is the base address. Okay, this is the base address. Then you know what will be the next address of the next one. So it doesn't matter for me. So you know how to calculate these things. So address of that. So if it is 4 bytes, so it will going to be 9 bytes. So you know these things. Anyway, now what will happen? I need that I can store the address of the base address of this array. Similarly, I am going to create what? Sorry. Similarly, I can create one more memory. Okay, I can create memory which having different address 87675. Okay, so I'm not writing all those here only. That's base address I'm writing. So what will happen? This one going to be 87675. Okay. Similarly, I can create one more. Okay, one more memory. So 55454 like that. So I am going to do that thing. So similarly, this way I can do for the other array. I am going to create like 6 such arrays. I am going to create it, and I am going to store its base address into that particular these things array. So now what will happen? It's basically now pointing. It's basically pointing to those arrays. Okay, so like that, I also have some other. I'm not drawing. This also having some address. This also having some address. This also having some address. Okay, this also having some address. Okay. Now, if you club together, what will happen? If you club together, how it will look like? Forget about these addresses and all. If I club together, let us assume this one. Look at that thing. Good. Some order. And if I am clubbing together. ये क्या बन गया? ये क्या बन गया?
Matrix.
Yeah. So this is nothing but a matrix. Am I right? This is nothing but a matrix. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Matrix is nothing but a collection of arrays of same size. समझ में आया? Matrix is a collection of arrays of same size where the number of such arrays indicates the number of rows and the size of each array indicates the number of columns. समझ में आया? समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? समझ में आया कि नहीं आया? The number of such arrays actually indicates the number of rows and number of size of each array indicates the number of columns. नहीं आया समझ में? समझ में नहीं आया? मैं तुम
नहीं आया सर.
The number of
हाँ? Let us assume I'll declare it one. तो मैं मैट्रिक्स का साइज में दिखाता हूँ ताकि तुम लोग आसान हो. How many rows and how many columns are there?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. Okay. So 5 rows and 7 columns. Am I right? If I see in terms of array, how many row arrays are there? How many collection of how many arrays? ऐसा करके
5.
ऐसा करके देखो, ठीक है?
7.
नहीं ऐसा करके देखो, this one.
5.
This 5. This is one array. This is another array. This is another array. This is another array. This is another. Am I right? So how many such arrays? 5 arrays. है कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And each array, what is the size?
7.
7.
7. So that means you have 5 rows, 7 columns. So what I am saying, the number of arrays basically indicates the size of the number of rows, and the size of each array indicates the number of columns. Is it clear now? Clear हुआ?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Ba-
sir.
बाकी लोगों को समझ में आया? हाँ या ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, very good. So now one part is done. So that means I have created one these things. I have created one array of pointers of size 6. Okay. Then tell me, if I use that thing, how many rows will going to be there after declaration? In that array, how many rows will going to be there after the declaration? Okay, tell me how many base address I can store it. That means base address means that many arrays. How many arrays I can store it here in this X?
6.
6. So that means what is the, how many is the row, number of rows?
6.
6. Is it okay?
Yes,
छह
sir.
एरे है मतलब 6 एरे है मतलब 6 पॉइंटर होगा, 6 पॉइंटर को रखना है, उसके लिए आप लोगों ने 6 साइज का एक एरे बनाया और एक 6 एरे मतलब उसका नंबर ऑफ रोज, अभी नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स को डिफाइन करना है, बनाना है। कॉलम को कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे? हाउ आर गोइंग टू डू दैट? आई हैव टू डिक्लेयर, so this you can do that thing कि इसको ठीक है। So what is called I mean now number of rows. Number of row means what? Number of column means
Size of each array.
size of each array. Good. So size of each array, that means I have to create some array. I have to create some array of that size to get it that. So how to do that thing? You see this. This is the thing. This is the function. This is for array of pointers creation. Second one is for creating individual arrays. Okay? So what I am doing here is going to be integer. It is going to be x for our definition. You have to take a for loop because you need to traverse this particular array, the initial array. Okay, that hold by x. Okay, now for each location I'll go and then I'll create an array of size. Let us assume here as per that example, let us assume this is 4. So हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, एक array हम लोग जो बना रहे हैं as per that example 6 and 4, 6 rows 4 columns. Okay, ये इसको भूल जाओ, ये डायग्राम को भूल जाओ, डायग्राम मतलब appropriate नहीं है, इसको साथ कोरिलेट मत करो. So just try to understand कि the array that I have declared, this is of size 6. That means my number of rows will going to be 6 and each array size is I am going to make it 4. So that is the number of columns. So इसमें क्या होगा, it will create a memory like a normal memory allocation. Okay, normal memory allocation, either you can use malloc or calloc. Okay, so I can use it malloc. So if I use it malloc, so naturally I have to give it the star. So I'm going to it's ये float नहीं है, ये integer ही करेंगे, इसको भी हम लोग integer करेंगे. This is the normal function call for creating any simple array of any particular variable, not array of pointers. So क्या होगा? It will create an array. It will create an array using malloc and it returns the address. Address means it's a, what is that? It's basically a void pointer. So void pointer, you have to convert it into destination type. What is the destination type? Destination type is integer type. देखो इसमें थोड़ा confuse मत होना. When you are using simple x, it means pointer to pointer, double pointer. But when you are using this notation, that means array of pointers ka first location or ith location, then it is basically you are storing a integer pointer, simple integer pointer. No, it's not pointer. Okay. तो क्या होगा? So what will happen? It will create an array of size 4 of integer type, or the base address it will going to be assigned it the I. So if I is 0, so that let us assume it's returning an address 1 2 3 3 5 4 5. Then when I is 1, so next another array of size 4 it will going to be created and that address will going to be stored. That is 87, this 87675. Let us assume this is the address. It will going to be held by x1 space. समझ में आया नहीं है? समझ में आया नहीं है? रोमिला हाँ बोलो, कोई एनी आंसर समझ में आया? समझ में आया नहीं आया? समझ में आया
थोड़ा
नहीं?
थोड़ा
थोड़ा थोड़ा क्या?
कॉलम समझ में
हाँ कौन सा?
सर 4 सर 4 कहाँ कैसे हुआ वो समझ में नहीं आया।
The fact is that what you want 6 rows and 4 columns. So what does it mean by 6 rows? 6 rows means you need a 6 arrays. Am I right? 6 arrays. And what is the size of each array? 4. So that is basically the columns. Okay. So what happens? First you have created an array of pointers of size 6 so that you can store the base address of 6 such arrays. And next you are creating individual 6 such arrays of size, each of the array size is 4. तो ये जो second line है, this one, this actually creates a individual array of size 4, and then it's storing the base address into an array of pointers. So that is AI. AI means in the beginning 0. So first one, it's storing the base address of the first array. Then AI plus plus I become next, it moves to the next. So X1 will store the base address of the next array. So like that, you'll go on creating this 6 number of such arrays. So 6 number of arrays, that means 6 rows, and each array is of size 4. अभी क्लियर हुआ नहीं हुआ?
सर
बाकी लोग क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. So now let us write some small program. Okay, so यही है this diagram. Even the nice thing is that I'll come into that. I'll come into that. I'll come into that figure. This is also good. Here, this is the thing. This is array of pointer, the first one. The array of pointers here, the A, that is 0 to 4, and then you are creating such 5 such arrays. 5 such arrays. Each of them are of size 4. So that means there are how many rows and columns? Kitna rows, kitna column hai? You see, this is the array. So this is how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. क्योंकि 5 base address you are storing in another pointer, array of pointers, or each of the size is 4. So 4 size का 5 such arrays you are storing. Okay. Now this is why, but sometime in some program, but very unlikely, until analysis is required, you can even make what is called any arbitrary size array. Any arbitrary size array, मतलब तुम 5 सच रो बना रहे हो, बट एक हर रो का नंबर ऑफ कॉलम्स मे नॉट बी सेम. तो उसमें क्या करोगे? इसमें तुम एक डायनामिक कुछ डाल दो कि ये पहला वाला 1 होगा, दूसरा वाला 2 होगा, तीसरा वाला 3 होगा, चौथा वाला 4 होगा, 5. क्योंकि यू हैव टू जस्ट स्पेसिफाई इन ए कैलो हाउ मेनी स्पेस यू नीड. मैलॉक और कैलो जो भी हो. So how many you have just declared it. So any variable, it's not necessary that it is going to be always the same size of number of columns for each row. So that also you can create it for any some special because that is the beauty of any dynamic memory recursion. But if it is a static, you cannot do. Why? अगर लिखना है int a 5 2 5 5 or 5 6, so sub column will always going to be same for entire matrix. लेकिन कभी कभी हम लोग को चाहिए कि the number of columns may not be the same, क्योंकि हम लोग का रिक्वायरमेंट वाइज फर्स्ट रो में हम लोग 2 वैल्यू रखेंगे, सेकंड में 3 वैल्यू रखेंगे, फोर्थ में 4 वैल्यू रखेंगे. अकॉर्डिंगली डायनामिकली यू कैन क्रिएट दिस थिंग्स. समझ में आया? इज इट क्लियर? इज इट ओके?
यस सर.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now let us move to some small program. Let us do it. Okay, let us do it. Let me have a just take a water something like this. Total. स्क्रीन?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us do a small program. तुम लोग स्वैप तो कर पाओगे? स्वैप you have done ना? Using pointer? स्वैपिंग कर लिया ना? स्वैपिंग फंक्शन या ऐसा कुछ यूजिंग फंक्शन पॉइंटर एंड फंक्शन कर लिया था नहीं? दिखाना पड़ेगा ना और you can write do that thing. All by reference example. हाँ भी ना बताता है, हाँ भी नहीं, ना भी नहीं.
दिखाना है सर.
हाँ?
दिखा दीजिए सर.
तुम तो मत पूछो. अमर तुमने पहले किया था कि नहीं किया था? तुमने किया था कि नहीं किया था?
किया था सर.
तो भूल क्यों जाते हो? Okay, let me show you very quickly. I'll not going to do that thing. I'm not able to move. Swap functions. So in swap functions, what I'll do, I'll use 2 pointers. So here A, comma B. So print A equals to 5, B equals to 6. So printf before swap is equal to %d, p is equal to %d, e comma d. Then we call it swap. How are you going to send it? Tell me. Printf after swap. What I should send it here? swap के अंदर क्या डालूं बोलो तो? swap के अंदर क्या डालूं?
Address of A and B.
A and B?
The address of A and B.
और बोलो. बाकी लोग बोलो.
Sir, content of the location where A and B is pointing.
क्या content of the location where A and B is pointing? A is not pointing anywhere. A is not pointing anywhere. Why A will point? A is not a
And
pointer.
sir, address of A and B.
Address of A and B. हो गया? Okay, or anything else I need? Do I need something?
Return.
कौन बोला? कौन बोला ये? बोलो।
सर मैं
Why return? Why return? तुम लोग पढ़ाई नहीं करते हो और नाइदर कॉन्सेप्चुअलाइज नहीं होता है। इतना दिन तुम लोग तो सी पढ़ के भी आ चुके हो। ऐसा नहीं है कि नया चीज है। फिर बोलो, कोई बोलो, आंसर, गिव आंसर। डू आई नीड रिटर्न और समथिंग एल्स, और क्या करूं? बोलो 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 बोलो, झटपट झटपट पट पट। तुम लोग स्वैप फंक्शन में अटक गया तो थोड़ा टू डायमेंशनल एरे समझ में आएगा, मेलोक आएगा। क्लास खत्म होते होते 5 मिनट उनका दिमाग से सब उड़ जाएगा। देखो आंसर नहीं देता है, राइट रॉन्ग बोलो ना। व्हाट्स द हार्म?
सर नहीं देता सर, रिटर्न नहीं होगा सर।
सर नहीं होगा कुछ भी।
हाँ, तो इतना टाइम क्यों लगता है? शर्म लगता है क्या? इतना शर्मिला हो तुम लोग? समझ में नहीं आया था। रास्ते में जाने से तो मारपीट करते रहते हो, टीचर को भी पीछे से गाली देते हो, इसमें तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, और इसमें इतना शर्म क्यों है? Whatever is coming in your mind, you should tell. Krishna said there is no harm. At least क्या होगा? You can come to know that what is happening inside your mind. That means some your concept is not correct. तो बताना पड़ेगा तो तुम लोग को, नहीं बताने से कैसे होगा? ऐसे ही रिमोटली चल रहा है, मैं मुंह देख के भी तुम लोग को नहीं ले पा रहा हूं। और अच्छा, और वन मोर थिंग, तुम लोग अगर ब्रॉडबैंड नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो एक्सक्यूज मत देना। एग्जाम जो होगा शायद घर में बैठ के होगा, लेकिन सबका कैमरा ऑन रहना पड़ेगा, दैट्स ऑल। कैसे मैनेज करोगे, इट्स अप टू यू। सबको कैमरा के सामने बैठ के एग्जाम देना है, समझ में आया? सबको कैमरा में बैठ के एग्जाम देना है। ऐसा नहीं है बाद में नहीं बताना सर मेरा इंटरनेट नहीं है, सर मेरा यहाँ पे नेटवर्क खराब है। नहीं है, यू गो समवेयर एल्स, कहीं पे भी जाओ, साइबर कैफे में जाओ, किसी दूसरे का घर में जाओ, कहीं पे भी सिटी में रहो, लेकिन आई वांट दैट यू शुड हैव गुड इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी सो दैट यू कैन कीप योर कैमरा ऑन। वो होना ही पड़ेगा मेरा एग्जाम में, एटलीस्ट होना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो नहीं होगा। ऐसा थोड़े घर में बैठ के एग्जाम मजा से एग्जाम दोगे तुम लोग, मस्ट। अभी तो मुंह दिखाई नहीं देता, लेकिन उस टाइम में पूरा मॉनिटरिंग होगा, सीधा बात है। एनीवे, सो this is your swap program. Okay, you run it, you'll get it there. ठीक है, समझ में आया? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me what program I should show you. Normal pointer, it's okay. Normal pointer functions and everything, it is okay. But do I show you the array? Array and dynamic memory location?
Yes, sir.
और बोलो क्या दूसरा दिखाओ जो तुम लोग को चाहिए। क्या चीज तुम लोग को समझ में नहीं आया वो बोलो, then I'll go with some example program. कौन सा चीज समझ में नहीं?
Sir, matrix
मैट्रिक्स धीरे धीरे आएगा, उससे पहले बोलो।
तो वो कैलॉक और मैलॉक का सर एरे प्रोग्राम।
वो खुद लिख लेना, मुझे क्यों बता रहे हो? वो कौन बता रहा है? ये ना निर्मल ना
सर मैं
प्रवेश खुद लिख लेना, उसमें क्या है? कैलॉक और मैलॉक का तो एग्जांपल दिया है, तुम लिख लेना, तुम कर पाओगे। बाकी जो कॉन्सेप्चुअली तुमको समझ में नहीं आया उसको ये करो। मैं मैलॉक वाला लिखूंगा, व्हेन आई विल डू दैट थिंग। एनी अदर देन दैट एरे में जाने के टाइम में आई शो यू। बाकी कुछ इज देयर एनी कॉन्सेप्ट? ये तो दिस इज द कॉल बाय रेफरेंस दैट आई एम शोइंग, और 2-3 एग्जांपल भी मैंने दिखाया था एरे का क्लास 1 करने से क्या हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, हाउ इट इज चेंजिंग, तो दैट विल कम इनटू द एरे। लेकिन अभी और कुछ है, अदरवाइज आई विल गो टू सम दिस फंक्शन व्हाट इज कॉल्ड डायनेमिक मेमोरी एलोकेशंस और सम एरे। ठीक है, लेट अस गो टू दैट। So create some array dynamically. Sorry, I need a pointer. Let us assume I'm going to create these things, array of integers. Okay, so what you have to do? It should be dynamic memory allocation. So what it is going to do? Printf enter new line, enter number of elements. Okay. So scanf %d yeah. तो ये ले लिया, लेने के बाद कैसे क्रिएट करेंगे? ठीक है, मैलोक दिखा रहा हूं मैं। मैलोक फंक्शन कॉल कर लिया। मैलोक क्या लेता है? मैलोक क्या लेता है? वैसे पैरामीटर ऑफ मैलोक what is the parameter of malloc?
Sir, size.
Size in terms of what? Size in terms of देखो आंसर नहीं है, फिर बंद हो गया। साइज इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट? इस क्या साइज ले रहा है? बाबा बोलो कुछ। हाँ?
A single block of memory.
A single block of memory. So in terms of what? In terms of क्या है? उन्हें बताया तो single chunk of blocks it's okay, but what is the size should be in terms of वो ब्लॉक साइज ऑफ इंटीजर यहाँ पे है। इन जनरल क्या होगा? नहीं तो तुम लोग मिक्सअप क्यों करते हो? वी नीड ए साइज ऑफ इन टर्म्स ऑफ बाइट्स। कितना बाइट का सिंगल चंक चाहिए तुमको? सो हाउ आर गोइंग टू डू दैट? वी विल डू ए बेसिक कैलकुलेशंस। हम लोगों को 9 size in terms of some numerics. I need n elements array and each element is of size integer. So कैसे करेंगे? n into साइज ऑफ, क्योंकि हम लोग को पता नहीं है कितना इंटीजर है इसलिए लिख दिया. If you know directly the what is the number of bytes, you can directly mention here. Let us assume if I do that thing 24, that also will going to work. If you write any constant number also, that also will going to work. But why to take a risk? Because I am going making a dynamic. So let us do according to the user's requirement. So size of integer. Okay, is it clear? Because most of the time you have to go back to in the book or some your exercise book or any book to see what is the how I should use malloc. But there is nothing to mug up or recall. Just simply try to understand the meaning. Here I am just specifying the number of bytes. How I am calculating the number of bytes? Number of bytes in means array. How many? What is the size? What is the size of that? What is the number of elements that I'd like to know, take, and each element what is the size, so that if you multiply it, then it will go into total number of bytes. So total number of bytes will going to be n into size of that particular type of variable. Finish. Okay, now what else I needed? और क्या चाहिए? और क्या चाहिए? बोलो. Anything else that I have to do? What I have to do? I have to do क्या करना है? So I have to do typecasting. Typecasting क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं, just simply see the what is the type of that A. What is the type of the A? Just write the same thing inside bracket. अगर इस तरह से तुम दिमाग में रखोगे तो कभी याद रखना नहीं पड़ेगा कि कैसा होता है इसका सिंटेक्स. It doesn't require. Just इसमें पास करो number of bytes. नंबर ऑफ बाइट्स कैसे कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं? द नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स एंड साइज ऑफ ईच एलिमेंट. और कौन सा टाइप कास्टिंग कौन सा होगा? ये जो डेस्टिनेशन टाइप है उसको लिख दो, हो गया. नाउ द बेस्ट आइडिया इज इफ a is equal to null, एक मैसेज दे दो printf नॉर्मली होता नहीं है, ये हो भी सकता है. एल्स तुम क्या करो, एल्स तुम अभी इसको लेके प्रोग्राम लिखो लाइक ए नॉर्मल. तो लाइक ए नॉर्मल ये और I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So scanf %d %a I. Yeah, we have to declare. No, declare. Write it everything in single line. All the declaration you can do single line. अच्छा इसको स्कैन कर लिया और इसको प्रिंट करेंगे. अच्छा printf ये हो गया. रन अभी देखो रन करके खाली वार्निंग देता रहता है. std लीव यूज करना है, दे रहा है लेकिन तभी एसटीडी लीव करना, ठीक है, एसटीडी लीव गाड़ी में एसटीडी लीव हल्ला करना नहीं चाहिए, देखो अभी हल्ला नहीं चाहिए, चुपचाप। सो नाउ लेट अस डू दैट थिंग। 5 डाला, 5 एरे क्रिएट हो गया, देखो अभी वो वैल्यू मांग रहा है, तो एक मैसेज दे सकते हो कि हाँ योर एरे सक्सेसफुल, योर एलोकेशन क्रिएशन सक्सेसफुल। एनीवे 3 4 2 1 6 5, ठीक है, हो गया, डन। इज इट ओके? इज इट ओके और नो?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
अभी ये नॉर्मल एरे नोटेशन है, अभी पॉइंटर नोटेशन में कैसे लिखेंगे इसको? पॉइंटर नोटेशन में कैसे लिखेंगे? पॉइंटर नोटेशन में कैसे लिखेंगे इसको? ए आई ऐसा ना लिख के पॉइंटर नोटेशन में लिखना है, क्या कैसे करेंगे? पॉइंटर नोटेशन में कैसे लिखेंगे ये ए आई को स्कैन एफ और प्रिंट एफ में? कोई बताओ, मैं खुश हो जाऊंगा। पॉइंटर नोटेशन दिख रहा था ना एरे का? ये हटा दिया मैं, अभी बताओ। तो राम थोड़ा वेट करो, तो राम थोड़ा वेट करो, देखता हूं दूसरा कोई बता सकते हैं कि नहीं। बाकी लोग बोलो, बताते नहीं हो मेरा। कोई तो बोलो बाबा। कोई नहीं बात करता है, बात करो। ऐसे करके कैसे होगा? दिमाग का बत्ती तो जलाना पड़ेगा। राम बोलो, कोई आंसर नहीं देगा, वो लोग चुपचाप बैठा है। राम बोलो। हैं? स्कैनर में क्या लिखूं? कैपिटल ए प्लस आई, और प्रिंटर में, प्रिंटर में ठीक है। अभी बाकी लोगों का कमेंट्स बोलो, कोई कुछ पूछना है? कुछ पूछना है?
सर एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए।
कौन सा वाला बोलो? ये वाला?
हाँ सर।
वो क्लास किए थे कि नहीं कि ए आई बेसिकली मीन्स व्हाट? ए का इक्विवेलेंट पॉइंटर नोटेशन क्या है? स्टार ए प्लस आई, क्या था कि नहीं, याद है ये नोटेशन?
हाँ सर।
Base address and then the index and multiplied by the size of the data. याद है?
हाँ सर.
Now you can say that here actually normally what you do ampersand AI. अगर ampersand AI है तो AI का रिप्रेजेंटेशन है स्टार A प्लस I, तो नेचुरली इसके सामने ampersand आएगा. तो मैंने एक बार दिखाया था, इफ यू कैन रिमेम्बर, ampersand और स्टार अगर एक साथ रहेगा तो क्या होता है? ampersand स्टार P क्या होता है एक्चुअली?
P.
है?
P.
तो मतलब स्टार एंड ampersand will going to be vanished. और ना लिखने से भी तुम्हारा चलेगा, ये लिखने से भी चलेगा. दिस इज ऑल्सो ट्रू, दिस इज ऑल्सो वैलिड. लेकिन ये जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि ये मतलब है एक्चुअली A प्लस I. समझ में आया? Yes or no?
Yes sir.
Ampersand star P means actually nothing but a P. Am I right?
Yes sir.
तो यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने अगर ampersand AI लिखा, AI मतलब स्टार A प्लस I, उसके पहले we have to put it ampersand. तो ampersand and star means it is somewhat like this. If ampersand star P equal to P, that means ampersand star A plus I means simple AI. तो खाली AI लिखने से भी होगा, और if you want to really use that thing, then you write it like this, तब भी होगा. नीचे वाला तो you पता है, this is nothing but AI. You'd like to print the content of I location for an array A. So this is the way how you do that thing. ठीक है?
हाँ सर.
नहीं है, एक लिस्ट करो, लिस्ट बना के जस्ट लेट मी नो, क्योंकि बहुत बाद में जाके मत बताना कि सर ये समझ में नहीं आया, क्योंकि तब मुझे गुस्सा आएगा जब तुम लोग को सिंपल सा कुछ पूछता हूँ और यू आर नॉट एबल टू गिव दैट आंसर. वो अच्छा नहीं लगता. अभी कुछ भी हो, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया, यू कैन आस्क मी, आई अगेन एंड अगेन आई रिपीट, अगेन एंड अगेन आई रिपीट. और तुम लोग तो हैबिट तुम लोग का है, क्लास खत्म हो गया बस क्लोज करके चला गया दूसरा काम करने के लिए, बोरिंग. तो कैसे होगा? ये क्लास की इमीडिएटली बाद जो मैंने डिस्कस किया, यू शुड जस्ट रिविजिट दैट थिंग. एक बार रिविजिट करो, अपना दिमाग से प्रिपेयर हो जाएगा पूरा. नहीं चाहिए तुमको बाद में एग्जाम से पहले सोचने के लिए, ये सब वो बाद में सोचने का चीज है नहीं. इमीडिएट यू हैव टू थिंक एंड डू, और प्रैक्टिस करने से बाद में याद रहेगा. ठीक है? समझ में आया? समझ में आया कि नहीं?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
इमीडिएटली करना है. आज छोड़ देता हूँ, नहीं तो तुम लोग का दिमाग बाद में फट जाएगा.